She's here. I spotted her. I think I spotted her. She is here. She's here. There's all else. What would be good? What else? I'm an HEV. Oh, a terrible day today. I'm brushing my teeth. And not gonna rest. That's a pretty outfit, both of them. If I were down for 3 possibly, but I didn't plan. And maybe they know each other or not. What else? What the fuck, Cholula? Earlier I had what else? A bean. What is that called? Beans, mashed beans on a tortilla with accidental frosting from a cupcake on top. It was so good. If one adds sugar, I'm going to do this before, to the frost, to the beans, it's not the same. If one adds frosting, it's not the same. What else? What's my pet peeve with these? That's what you could provide. That makes me want to some down. I'm allergic to it immediately after it's my gut. What else? Anyways, I'm heading to the miner. I'm calling this one. I just ate a Guadalupe shrimp first. Topics are lovely. No meal times are reduced to Monday, Wednesdays, and Fridays. Did I find that? All sarcasm aside? Possibly. That's why I feel so bad. I'm like, oh, you don't have to be here, but they might be witnesses, victims, or perpetrators. Doing community service, I heard decades ago, trying to reduce their sentence if they show that if the instigator isn't around or possibly present in spirit, that they wouldn't rape me, they wouldn't have hurt me, and I wouldn't have saw sarcasm from them. There was a gentleman that sat next to me at Haven Farm today during breakfast. What was the phrase that I used? And I got raped. My second cousins heard me say like a rejection letter of comment to someone, and they took that as porn language and raped me with the gentleman. Later I was upset. I'm like, why am I still in his presence? He could be stealing from me. Why is he so annoying? Taking away from the attention towards me. Literally a side chick, oh, killing yourself if you're stealing from me. Was my attitude back then. Later today, pretty there. Sometimes at Central Plaza I was there. I ate my cereal with my hand. Pretty that's next to him sometimes at Central Plaza was there too, so I sat right across them. And they're like, don't die, maybe I'll kill you another day. Look at my second cousin or his lookalike was there. And I'm like, yeah, when does the beating stop? What else? So that other gentleman sat next to me. That's a pretty awesome. I want black ribbon shoes. Like the base thing. What else? So he started giving his speech of how he lived in Wisconsin and Ohio and the east side and the west side. Like, okay, that's too big of a home that won't ever get approved. What else? And then he said that phrase that I said or someone said decades ago. Okay, I don't react to that. Okay, people may be looking for like who's the instigator. Thank you. What else? Oh, I like that pink on those leggings. What else? And some people know that I'm isolated, so not everyone wants the modern, no everyone wants to win it. Well, I don't have friends or a husband or my children to shop for. What's that? What was given to me? Breakfast stamps? I only had like 50 something dollars. So. What? Anyways, in other news, a lot of these people may be already taken. I don't want to maybe here. It's a great place to meet people if that's what you're into. You can stay to dine into. What else? And so sorry if I ruined really for your marketer. That was born yesterday. She already shared this picture on social media. I always like it. And is there a Sabina? And so not everyone's in the know. Now it's hard to take pictures and videos with the common courtesy that she's ignoring. And they may have the paperwork or they may sue me if I have stuff or so they may be in the know. If my dad may have said, well, here's her contact info. Every time that you feel it's a valid liability, go ahead and sue her. What else? Does the bus get here? Like 11:25. Anyways, I'm heading to the library. So lovely. Who knew that this ugly sweater from the inn would inspire me a color palette for a home? So I was looking at some door and window haven for hope yesterday. I thought, ooh, I hadn't thought about that in a while. Like mintish glass panels, or the windows, or the door. Aluminum around it because silver. What else? And then I thought concrete maybe, and then the print on the sweater has 3 hearts, so maybe I picked up that idea from the sweater. And then this morning there is like a shed that has a bench right in front of it, so one can lean against the door. I mean, I lean against the door. So I've been there a few times. I'm like, what is this shed? What if it was like a long restaurant with the tub? Tiny home. So there's another shed area. That one isn't made out of cinder block concrete. that's exposed, like it has a fence. Is it on both sides or it has a partial wall? So it has a division in the middle. I'm like, kitchen behind that. So I started restroom here with the tub, kitchen behind the partition, or with the sink, most likely cliche against the wall, or maybe with the cutout with blocks that would let light in, but not a typical window. What else? 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 Then I thought about the restroom so close to the kitchen, piping, and all that. So I thought, well, if I move, there's an exposed area, could be a garage with more fence. I think on both sides. So if I move the restroom next to the garage, that could be the bedroom. And then it could have an arch in the middle of the wall leading to a living area and then back to the kitchen with the partition. I don't know if made out of concrete, out of birch, with nooks where one can do collectibles or pictures on it. That would be pretty. And then I thought, well, what if one needs, I mean, it's not always customary to have a separate entrance from the garage into the home, right? But the home could at least have two exits. What else? 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 So it could be like a small hallway between the. It could be arranged for there to be an entrance. Oh, it could be like a small mudroom ish next to the restroom. I don't know if I want a closet or just armoires to hold whatever intimate apparel I would have. Because I thought about it, like I would be naked all the time anyways. But not quite. It would be mostly used as a studio, I guess. Where would I place my sewing machine and table? So that king size bedroom should be, what is it? Large enough, or if it's a tiny home, is there a tiny home with a king size one? It's likely possible. It could be a fold up bed, and then the rest of the room is layout for fabric. One can lay plastic or that craft paper all over the room to lay fabric and cut it if one doesn't want to lay it directly on fabric, on carpet or wood. For good cleanliness, they could be washed, so that's perfect. What else? 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 I want a red couch, tufted. Ooh, would the buttons be in a print of me watercoloring some flowers and then turning it into a print, or should I leave that for pillows to be switched down? That would be good. Did I just add green to it? In my head, possibly. I want black leather, possibly a chair with it. What else? 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 And I apologize again. As I was drawing it just for fun, I'm like, someone here. A meeting with your architect or designer. And I ruin your mindset with your like, no, I can't remember material, what I'm picking today, and I'm gonna walk in there and be like, leather. Sometimes the architect in their body language says, no, you don't want leather, what you want is this material. And they're like, yes! I've had that happen. Sometimes they're like, if you speak of leather, that's what I'm gonna give you, leather. sometimes then they put it in drawing. Like, what about this other option in this material? Maybe like stuck on the leopard. What else? What else? What else? What else? Sometimes maybe you call 6 years later and they're like, what? You wanted birch instead of leather for that chase, no? Yeah. I already designed it, or I'll get to it. I knew one day you would be calling me and asking me for that. What else? 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 So lovely. That's like, oof. A job that I wouldn't ever want to have. That's a job that I wouldn't ever want to have. So lovely. Look at that. Look at that. Down to the railings. What else? 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 Anyways, I got this sweater from a warehouse at Haven for Hope yesterday. It's extra large. The fleece is mostly for fashion, not for warm. If you're wondering about performative fabrics, performance fabrics, but I suspected that when I got it. It keeps cool inside it. What else? What else? What else? What else? What else? What else? Oh my God. That's so pretty. What else? What else? What else? What else? What else? And then I was speaking out loud because some people may be connected and like, well, what is she thinking about? Because I have nothing else to do. And they're like, oh, she's just thinking of this. Pero I think I see her. I found her. I see her. Porque I don't keep up with the tabloids anymore. So literally, I couldn't run into Gerlani or Princess Sophia, and people would be like, or recognize. It's like if you all behave. Well, there's still people that are on the radio or magazines all the time that get recognized more than others. What else? What else? What else? What else? What else? Anyways, what was I saying? So, as I was drawing my rendering of the home that I want, I'm like, well, there's the frost tower there. So we don't want the witnesses. Or don't mind me. There's 300 million. You could use that for aesthetics. There's the arts residence Thompson. What if you mixed in all three? And then 2 level, 3 level, turn it into what is the urbanización? What else? 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 And then I left. And then people forget. Not everyone's gonna be designing. But I gotta remind people, we didn't all show up with green eye contact, right? But it's scary. I've witnessed it. Like, it's also like that relative. Okay, it is essentially to some people that hasn't been around one for that long time, and it just got back from a trip, and it doesn't have time to explain every single detail about their backpacking trip. So they pick an olive and they're like, oh my God, like I had such a great time at that market. They're still stuck in what they did. So that's very dangerous for my sex life. This is why I don't have money for self-care. I don't propose to anyone because I would literally down to there, I would be like, oh my God, when I put it in my ass, it was so good. While his significant others may be there. Well, some people are delusional. I expect monogamy. Like, I'm your only one. I won't kill you. I imagine, porque why am I suffering now? Why am I suffering financially? What else? What else? What else? What else? What else? It's a beautiful day. Oh, do I want gold hardware for the home? Then I'd have to select. Oh, I'm heading to the library. Maybe I'll entertain myself with a home. It is that 44. Yes. And I'm waiting for 43. And when does my toenail fungus goes away? And my son cannot sleep. I'm panicking that one day a branch will fall on me. Pero that would be kind of my fault. Or people don't let it grow to that extreme. I mean, it doesn't reach a branch, just a leaves. That's a cute print. And how is this different from Milan? Or Tokyo, or Paris, or New York City? What else? 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 A lot of people move to New York City now that it's like a tested market, so they don't like it or they want to remain like so private. Porque people start saying like, well, there's so many now, more millionaires in New York, but that doesn't mean that there are that many here in San Antonio. This is like left. Isn't it?